Okay, the Z4M. Here's the story. Shopping on Auto Trader, drove to Arizona, picked it up, drove home, hated the wheels, got new wheels, new tires, looked at the paint, damn, no bueno. Met up with Elite Finish, and you're caught up.
Yo.
How's it going, Wes?
What's up, dude? Good to
How
see
you doing?
Yeah, good to see you, bro.
All right, so brought the Z4M for you.
Yeah.
Wanted to actually get you to see it and see all the little things. I know it's one thing to see a picture. I know it's another to actually see it in person and get an idea of everything wrong with the car.
Yeah, we get that all the time. People are like, hey, how much to detail my car? How much to paint correct? I'm like, yeah, I got to see that thing in person.
Yeah.
So, this thing's sick, bro. I love it. Yeah, man. How long have you had it?
About a month and a half now.
Okay,
So
cool.
I just added the Apex wheels and
like
the
it.
Michelin PS4s.
Dude,
Got rid of those stock chrome wheels because they look terrible.
For sure. The PS4s are such a good tire.
Yeah, I love them.
So these wheels are perfect for the car too. So look, I know we talked a little bit. I'd like to kind of hear from you. What are you hoping to accomplish out of even having this work on your car, bro?
Like the first thing I noticed when I was looking at this paint, I didn't notice initially when I bought the car. When I bought the car, I was like, it looks pretty good. And I know to you, you're like, no, but as I started to take a look around it, I started to notice like some holograms or some different things. I don't know the exact technical term for it. It looked like someone had either done some type of work and done it wrong. Then on top of that, I noticed all the little paint swirls. And then obviously it being a 2007, there's a lot of imperfection. So I guess where I'm coming from, what I want to see with this is, I want to see a paint of, being from 07, how it can end up, like what it can actually look like. I don't expect it to look like a brand new car off the lot with zero defects, but I want to see how the paint actually evolves.
Would you like it if it looked better than a brand new car off the lot?
I would.
All right.
I know for you, obviously, too, you're like, a brand new car, that doesn't look that good.
Most of what we're about to go through right now is all in the prep for the coating. It's all the paint correction work, all the decontamination. We're gonna spend literally a couple of days on your car just refining and perfecting.
And that's so, because obviously you don't want to put something over something that's protecting it if you haven't finished off or polished off the surface beneath it.
So, well,
cool.
Why don't we walk around, and I want to kind of show you some of the things that I can see. I'd also like for you to show me some of the things that are bugging you.
Okay.
And then we can start putting together a game plan. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
All right, cool.
All right.
So when I first saw the Z4M, it had a variety of issues. I mean, it needed more than just paint correction here. The car had swirls kind of everywhere. It had just wash damage in general. It looks like someone before Cody didn't do too wonderful of a job of cleaning it. Maybe they brought it through a lot of car washes, who knows.
If you look at the sun reflection in the paint,
let's
see, you can see that there's swirl marks.
Yep.
Now, there's two different ways to identify, or there's different types of damage to identify. There's swirl marks from wash damage, and then there's swirl marks from buffer marks. So, in fact, when I'm looking here across the hood, I can see the pattern is really even. So that tells me, and it looks like you mentioned before, you use the term holograms. That's a correct term.
Okay.
Holograms are from a rotary buffer being used, and then with compounding and not refining out and finishing the paint. So what they've done here is they've used a heavy cutting compound and buffed this out, and they just didn't get into the medium or fine grit.
Okay.
So they just didn't finish. This is really what it comes down to. Trying to be gentle on poor Cody on the condition of his car, but it's pretty rough, and we're definitely in for a rough ride for the next few days. What they did was kind of aggressive and uneven, whereas the way that we're going to cut through the damage is going to be a lot more even. What the importance of that is that you're getting, the area that you're working is getting evenly scrubbed away, because at the end of the day, paint correction is the removal of paint. We're technically damaging paint, but in an organized and controlled manner.
Got it.
So let's walk around a little bit. Okay, so here's the other thing I want to point out. So I showed you buffer damage. Now, do you see the longer scratch lines?
Yeah.
That kind of spread around. So that is wash damage.
Okay.
So that wash damage is actually deeper damage than the buffer marks. The buffer marks look a little crazier and they look more exaggerated, but the wash damage is actually what will take us longer to remove. And mixed in with that wash damage is what we call RIDs, random isolated deep scratches.
Okay.
So you're just seeing big, swooping lines. Well, that's because what you're seeing is the reflection of light. You've got circular light above us with the sun.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see the curve of that reflection of light, but there's actually scratches going all different directions. RIDs are always the deepest and they take the longest to get out.
Come to Elite Finish and showing the car to Wes, I was kind of like, oh shit, he's gonna be able to pick apart this entire thing. Like I knew they were gonna be like, oh, that's there, this is that, there's something going on here, and they could tell exactly what's happened in the past of the car just by looking at the paint now.
So another thing I noticed here on the mirror is, and it's kind of hard to pick up on my phone, but can you see how there's like a cloudiness?
Yeah, definitely.
So that to me is the indication of clear coat failure. The challenge we face now is that if the clear coat is heavily oxidized or it's failing, so we're going to take a little bit more of a conservative approach here and hope that we get all the damage out without.
So that's something that essentially then it may not look perfect. Not well, I don't want to say any of the cars gonna look perfect, but I'm saying that part may not look as good as other parts of the car.
Correct. We're going to be using a more of a medium cutting pad and abrasive combination. So there's these weird streak marks that looks like basically like a chemical had been wiped across the paint and like smeared it. So that's going to be interesting to see how we're going to resolve that problem. Hopefully we don't have to resort to wet sanding, but we might have to. Noticing a lot of sap has been on this paint for a while. It's leaving like stains. There's like bee pollen stains that are in the paint. A lot of buffer marks. The paint's pretty dull.
Basically someone either at a body shop or a detailer just went through with a rotary and just slayed through the paint and just didn't clean up their job afterwards.
Okay, actually want to come around to the back. So the back is awesome to see because you can just see very clearly a lot of different issues.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of dots that you can see that are on the surface. Of course, the wash damage, and then down here you can see those holograms.
Yeah.
Right through here. So those dots, there's these local trees that a lot of the commercial parking lots like to use, that when they get hot they spit this like spray of a sap. So that's going to be all taken off when we do our decontamination process, which is where we go through after we use wash mist to clean the whole vehicle. Then we're going to use our synthetic clay disc, and that's going to remove all that.
Sanding marks in it. It has some water spots, some staining. I mean, it's kind of everything that can go wrong with just paint is happening.
Something else I want to show you. When we were talking about that orange peel.
Yeah.
So here, this is a really good, you can actually see on the phone really well. If you look at the reflection of your shirt, you can see there's just basically no clarity.
Yeah, I see there. It looks almost like someone put like a Photoshop filter over it or something.
Yeah, totally. And then also then when we come down to here, we can see it's a different, it's like, it's not clear. Your reflection of you is still not clear, but it's totally different.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
That's called dieback, where it's shrinking, the paint's actually shrinking into itself, and it just looks super hazy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that same orange peel. There is a process we can go through. In my opinion, this is a car that I would be very hesitant on going through that level of service.
And I think in this case, that to me isn't a super huge, it doesn't, like, my eyes don't immediately catch that.
Part of what's causing a lack of clarity, like when you look at this hood or this trunk right now, you can hardly even see the pearl. If you look right in the light.
Yeah, it doesn't look reflective.
And the reason for that is that all those scratches are like little mirrors. The light's hitting and bouncing across, and when the light's going across, then you don't get that clear reflection straight into your eyeball. So when we remove all that and level it out and refine it, all you're gonna see is the flake. It's gonna look so pretty.
Sweet, I'm excited. So I did know there was a little respray on this car. I saw some overspray, some bad tape lines or, you know, and it just, you could tell that it had been repainted. So when looking at it right now, Wes was a little hesitant to actually give me a game plan for different things because he really had to see how the paint was gonna react and what was gonna happen if he did X, Y, or Z.
The other thing to note here is they put this little edge guard. This is clear bra. They
painted over it, huh?
No, it looks like they actually put it on after the fact, which is a good thing. However, it's not applied very evenly.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this is great when you have a family and you're worried about your kid opening the door into the next.
Not on a two-seater coupe, yeah.
Exactly.
Or a two-seater roadster.
You know, we do have to have a conversation though of, do we take the risk of pulling this off? Because since we know this is repainted for sure now,
yeah, there
is a chance that paint lifts off when we take that off. I'm sorry to say, that's a lame kit. You can see, right here.
It's not gonna cover. Yeah.
No, like that should be covering like right here.
Yeah. Cool. So. All right. Well, I think let's go in and actually talk about some pricing, talk about some different options that we have for the entire car, and figure out what the best solution is to move forward with it.
Sounds good.
All right. Cool. Wes went over a bunch of different pricing options of different packages and different things that Elite Finish actually offers. Basically, how they quote things out is by the amount of times they need to go over the car. So if they need to go over the car twice, they're going to quote for 2 times. But in the cases where some parts require 3 passes instead of 2, they'll still quote for 2, depending on how much work is involved and if it's closer to 3 or closer to 2. Long story short, here we're talking some options about pricing and figuring out the best option moving forward for the car.
So when we're pricing up front, some of it is somewhat of a guess, but it's based off of the fact that we've paint corrected literally thousands of cars. Yeah. So we have a ton of experience.
I've already seen 100 Teslas in here and I've been here twice.
Yeah, right? So, you know, I can definitely say with confidence that we're going to need at least 2 extra cycles of correction. Yep. So if you're wanting to get the best of the best, and you said that you're going to have the car for at least 3 years, Seacort's Finest Reserve carries a 3-year warranty. Okay. That's what I would suggest for you. Okay. The fact that the car is going to be outside for a while at night. We do have our Seacort's Professional package. That starts at $2,000. Okay. I would still be going through the same correction time to do that. And then if all this is just too far out of budget, we can do what's called our exterior enhancement service, where we're basically just doing like really deep polishing. The goal of that service is to make the car look really shiny. We stack 3 different layers of sealant on there. That's going to wear off in, say, a 6 to 12 month period.
Okay, so the package we decided to opt for was Seacort's Finest Reserve. That includes exterior enhancement, light paint correction, Seacort's ceramic coating, and Seacort's Deluxe for all the plastic pieces. And then Elite finishes Seacort's Wheels and Calipers package, which includes the removal of wheels, then deep cleaning the wheels, brake calipers, and wheel wells. Next, polishing wheels and brake calipers is needed, and then applying Seacort's Deluxe or Seacort's Finest. But again, this is a quote, and this may change as the project goes on. So our starting total is $3,000.
I mean, is that the type of service that you were hoping to have us perform?
I think given the current state of the car, I want to have something that I'm solving a lot of the current problems on the car, and moving on to the next problem that's there on the car.
Well, look, dude, for what you're doing with your business and the amount of people seeing your car too, quite frankly, I don't want to go part way anyway. I really want to showcase what we can do. So let's make it happen, dude.
All right.
So sounds good.
Let's do it.
All right, dude.
Do I lean like this?
There's just areas that they just have some serious problems.
The most challenging thing about this car is going to be getting through all the damage that's in the paint.
We are already feeling the pressure.
Literally everything is going on right now.